and gentlemen, welcome to the Gory Hole, brought to you by Getting Off. I am your host, the patron saint of podcast and Twitter, and I am here with my co-host this evening. She's hosted the Sheely Showcase, Inside the Mind of In the Crowd, and Storytime with the reigning, defending, undisputed Trick or Trivia, Miss Katie Kinsey, baby.
Hey.
And our special guest of the evening, joining us in the Gory Hole, sticking it right into talk horror, from Botch Spots and Chair Shots and everything Rivet City Radio. He is a chef by trade, a mark by choice, and a horror fan and part of the core four because he loves us, the Will Gray.
You want to scoop the inside news?
Sure.
Yes.
Botch Spots and Chair Shots and Rivet City Radio is banned on Twitch right now.
Wait, what happened?
What did you guys do? Not you, but like, what did you guys do?
So I'm just going to be honest. I've been engagement farming. So what Mike has been doing on Monday nights is he's been running Raw with him and Camel and screen, and then Raw on like a small corner of the screen. And the other night somebody got mouthy with him and reported us. I got a copyright strike for streaming Netflix content. And I'm banned for another 58 minutes or so. It'll be over about 10:15. But yeah, that's the inside scoop. Rivet City Radio got our first ban in almost 5 years of podcasting.
See, I thought that the scoop that we were going to get is when Botch Spots and Chair Shots is actually coming back, because I feel like Will has been telling us that it's coming back for like months now, and I've been waiting.
I have the core idea for the show written.
Yeah, we've heard that.
I have the first pay-per-view we're going to be covering in the new format picked out. My next step is figuring out the 2 or 3 knuckleheads I'm going to make go on with me to discuss said pay-per-view.
Okay.
So we've started checking boxes off. We are officially moving closer to bringing the show back, but apparently it won't be in the next, day or so.
Won't be today.
Yeah.
And at some point, I had made a list for Will, and he planned on doing movie reviews, some of those being horror movies that I put on that list, and then sitting down with, random friends and movies and discussing them, little watch-alongs. So if you guys are interested in that, if that ever does come to fruition, that's something to look forward to. But why are we here, Katie?
To ask Will some questions about his horror movie likes and dislikes and things.
Well, that's what we're here to do. Why are we here?
Oh. Because we want to be?
Because we love horror, and we love our friend of horror, and we want to know more about it.
That too.
And also, I just wanted a show to name the Gory Hole.
I'm not calling it that.
There's nothing else to call it. It's the name of the show.
Okay, and you can call it that. I'm just here.
What are you going to call it? What are you going to tell people when you're like, we interviewed Will? Oh yeah, what's the name of the show?
The show is called Getting Off.
No, it's
technically.
Theoretically.
I'm
all right,
technically
Katie,
not wrong.
Please take it away.
All right, Will, are you ready?
I'm ready.
First question. It's a classic. What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie. It's always been kind of a rotating question for a long time, but I think I finally settled into just accepting the fact that 28 Days Later is my favorite horror movie. It's my favorite zombie movie. That's what I would say forever. It's my favorite zombie movie. And then the more I think about it, and the more horror series we've covered, and before I started doing this show with you guys as a member of the Core 4, one of the part-time co-hosts, I probably have watched more horror since I came on this show with you guys than I had my entire life up to this point. Like, I was a fan of horror, but I haven't binged through entire series before up until now, with the exception of things like Saw and the 28 Days Later series and stuff like that. But I thought for a long time maybe it's just my favorite zombie movie, but at the end of the day, I think 28 Days Later, it's got zombies, it's got action, it's got a good story. I know TC, when we were doing the zombie show, was like, I fell asleep like 5 fucking times trying to get through it. Like, I promise I will convince you guys at some point Danny Boyle's a great director. 28 Days Later is a great movie, I promise.
Your
Ian
best
Murphy.
your best option for that is for me to see 28 inches later.
Dude, it's Rule 34. If it exists, there's a porn of it. 28 Days Later means and implies that 28 inches later has to be out there somewhere.
Well, I thought that's what they were calling 28 years later. 28
That's what
inches
they
later
are
is the
calling
giant
it,
dong.
Oh, no, that dude is. God was very, very just generous with that man. That's the only way to put it.
Me seeing that is probably your best bet of me enjoying it. Danny Boyle directed that, right? Yeah,
He did.
Danny Boyle. Yeah, that's your best bet. No, I think we were all well aware of this. It is no zombie strippers, but it is, it's a zombie movie. I liked it better watching it for our review than did the first time I saw it a while ago. But so you said that you have watched more horror since you've been with us than you did prior to. What was the first horror movie you remember seeing?
Honestly, the first one I ever watched, and it's the one when we did the episode, another callback of the movies that scared the shit out of us or the movies that terrified us or whatever. I'm not very good with no title names. Child's Play. I was a young kid in the early 90s. Child's Play came out. I remember watching that show. I was the only boy. I have an older sister and the younger sister. So they were playing with dolls. So I remember watching Chucky as a young kid and being absolutely fucking terrified of dolls. Not normal. Yeah. No, I know. Trust me. So it's one of those things where, like, even now to this day, I didn't watch Chucky, the TV show. I haven't seen Bride of Chucky. I've seen the 2 Child's Plays movies, and that's essentially it because, like, that's one of those, like, core memories in horror that scared the shit out of me, and I've seen the highlights and I've seen, like, the rundowns, the too long didn't reads, but Child's Play, the first horror movie I watched, scared the shit out of me. Never went back and finished the series because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Katie loves Child's Play, obviously. Child's Play was actually the first episode that we did for Getting Off.
Yep.
And I am now determined to make you and to sit down with you at some point to watch Bride of Chucky because I feel like Bride of Chucky will help you get past this hump that you have. Like for me, we talked about, again, movies that terrified us was
It.
for me, it was It. And still to this day, the clown Pennywise from Stephen King's 1990 made for TV fucking that Pennywise terrifies me, but I loved the new and it's a fun movie for fun movies. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, I love those. They're fun for me. So
it's not just the dolls either, though, because we've talked about, like, Annabelle and The Conjuring. Like, that kind of doll doesn't bother me. It's just something about Chucky and Child's Play that freaked me the fuck out. Is it because he's what?
A ginger.
That's probably more so the issue more than anything.
A ginger with a soul, by the way.
And it's multiple souls, really, because, like,
you're not a real ginger.
No.
Okay, rude. Let me be a fake ginger. Damn.
You can be whatever you want to be in 2025. We don't yuck any yums around here.
Thank you, Will.
I got your back, Katie. Happy belated, by the way.
Thank you. All right, so you talked about Child's Play, the first horror movie you remember watching, and the first one that scared you. What is the last horror movie to actually scare you?
Okay, this one's kind of a weird one because I typically don't get scared by these types of movies, and it was the Poughkeepsie tapes. It's a found footage movie. And typically found footage movies aren't really, like, scary. They're just more, like, creepy and eerie. Like, you think, like, Blair Witch Project and stuff like that. Like, the Poughkeepsie tapes was so well done that the parts of it that aren't found footage is shot almost like you're watching a documentary. Like it's one of those movies where if you came in like part of the way through it, you might not think you're watching a movie. And that's what I think freaked me out the most about it. It just seemed really for a not super A list, B list, maybe even C list horror movie. It was really well done cinematography wise, to where it wasn't just the content that scared me, it was the fact that they made it seem so real is what
Mhm.
scared me. And that's probably the last one that gave me a good like scare.
Oh yeah,
Those found
love
footage
that
tapes will
movie.
get you.
Yeah, some of those found footage movies are fucking good. Hell House LLC, was that the one I got you to watch too, Matt? You and I talked about that one a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was like the first one was great, the second one not so good, and then the third one fell the fuck off.
The third one was garbage.
Yeah.
Shh, it's okay.
But I think so. Yeah, that'd probably be my answer. I'm another big fan when the checking the box is my favorite horror genres. Found footage will be another one that will probably pop up a few times through here.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, obviously you've done episodes of Getting Off with us. You've watched these horror movies, so we know talking horror is a turn on for you. Apparently, getting tag teamed by me and Katie doing while talking horror is also a turn on for you. What is your biggest horror turn off? What is something you hate in horror?
This is going to be a very like maybe it's a recency bias because it's fresh on my mind because I just saw it. Fire 3. Okay. This is something that really bothers me with Art the Clown, and I think it bothers me in more movies than I realized until now. Horror or not, I have to know the why in the story. And
Mhm.
now 3 movies into Art the Clown being a sadist with a big sword, killing everybody in freaky ways. Super cool. Again, not yucking any yums. Art, do your thing. But at the end of the day, 3 movies deep now, plus the one before where he actually got introduced. What's the
All
carnival
Hallows
movie?
Eve.
All Hallows Eve. Thank you. At this point, I have to have a why for why Art is the same way. Jason Voorhees, we knew why Jason was Jason. We learned why Michael was Michael. We learned why Freddy was Freddy. You know what I mean? Like all of these guys, all of your classic slashers have that origin point that made them who they are. And I feel like probably my biggest turn off or pet peeve in horror is gore for gore's sake. Like, give me a reason why this gore is happening. The Hills Have Eyes, the new version, the Wes Craven version, is another version of that where it's just gore for gore's sake. It seemed like he was just making shit happen to make it happen. And Wes Craven's usually pretty great with that. Like, he's.
The original was Wes Craven. The new one.
Or maybe reverse that then. Yeah, the new one wasn't Wes Craven. Sorry. I knew he was involved with one of the 2.
He was a writer because it was based on, but it was Alexander Aja.
Aha.
Aja.
Aha.
But Will, to kind of, I know it might not help. I also don't really like the Terrifier movies. The creator has said that for Terrifier 4, you're getting Art's backstory in the first 15 minutes.
See, that's perfect. Because if that happens, then I essentially won't care after that point. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. This is the why. But I feel like, and I've said it on Smacking It Raw, and I've said it on Botch Bots and Chair Shots, and now I get to say it on Getting Offed and on the Gory Hole, is the ultimate thing you can do to turn me off of your product is make me ask that question. Why did that happen? You know, like, and I feel like Terrifier's getting dangerously close to that. And if they give me that answer, then I'll be like, fuck yeah. He immediately moves up there to top 10, close to top 5, like slashers of all time. But I can't ask. If it sucks, then he's off the list. This is a make or break for the series, and it's the bigger lying arch of the question is like you have to. I want to be spoon fed my stories. You know what I mean? For a creative guy who's dabbled in writing, don't want to have to do a whole lot. I want you to spoon feed the story to me. You know what I mean? Don't make me ask why. Especially in horror. If I want to think piece, I'll go watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't want to have to worry about why this clown is, with a chainsaw up some dude's booty hole. Like,
I still haven't seen Terrifier 3. And that's
I
just because
haven't either, but I don't want to.
it's not on streaming. I will watch it once it is on some sort of streaming service. Terrifier 2 was back. Like, why the fuck haven't we dropped Terrifier 3 yet?
Terrifier 3 is definitely worth the watch to go back and watch it. To see it for the first time, even.
Maybe for Christmas. I hear it's a Christmas movie.
Cribbis. Is it? I guess, yeah.
I think it qualifies as a Christmas movie.
Well, doesn't the end, isn't it?
He
I
wears
know
a
there's a
Santa
Christmas
suit.
tree.
Yeah.
That's about all I know. I don't really like Terrifier, so I probably won't watch. Alright, you brought up Hills Have Eyes remake, and there's been countless other horror remakes in history. So this can be like an overall thing or specific ones, but horror remakes spit or swallow.
I would say swallow 85 to 95% of the time and gargle undecidedly the other 15%, because I feel like some of them didn't need to be made. And it's always that argument of, is Hollywood genuinely out of ideas?
Yes.
But like Matt, when you and I did Michael versus Michael, we talked about how the Rob Zombie timeline in the Michael Myers series was kind of its own thing. You know what I mean? It was like its own split off of the universe. And I feel like that kind of a remake is okay. I feel like a shot for shot remake with no new originality isn't. And that's where I feel like Hollywood dances that fine line of creativity or not. So that's why most of the time I'm okay with it. There are a few times where they didn't need to happen.
That's fair. Do you have a favorite remake off the top of your head?
Rob Zombie's Michael Myers is up there for sure. I just watched another one very recently that was really good. The remake of Evil Dead. Also a big fan of that. Like, that's definitely up there. Evil Head, also a great remake if you haven't seen it.
No.
Evil Head was fantastic.
It was a great watch. Great
Was
watch.
it? For who? Not me.
I think me and Matt had a blast watching it.
I was drinking.
I don't understand why that indicates either way or one way or the other.
Anyways. Your turn.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well, by the way.
You had a blast when you got interviewed for your own podcast and you were drinking then too. So
we don't have to. Why would you bring that up? That's very fucked up.
That was a good watch too, though, by the way.
It was a
I need to brew mine.
You got any hosts in mind for that?
Not the rack.
Dude, I thought you guys had worked things out.
No.
So I know that you RuneScape and you have other outside of the world of wrestling and movies. What, if any, are some of your other horror interests? As far as comics, books, video games, things like that.
Okay, this is one of those like onion layers of Will Gray. Okay, I like trashy television. Al has turned me on to the world of trashy television. We were watching Below Deck and Big Brother, shit like that, right? I love the paranormal, like ghost hunter shows where they go haunted places. I like that outside of just a straight horror movie. I love the paranormal stuff where they investigate it in real time. I love the biopics, like the stuff Netflix did with the Jeffrey Dahmer, like the real life suspense side of horror. I really enjoy that. As somebody who loves documentaries, anything that is presented on that, like a docu-series side of things, the Gabby Potato series, like
Magneto. God damn it!
I love that you got that bat right off the rip. Thank you for that. But like anything that takes that what's the pumpkin spice basic white girl fucking the fucking crime series shit. I love like the true crime stuff. I love true crime, you know. So like outside of just the horror, if you want to look at it as bigger, more 40,000 foot view of what it is, like I love true crime. I love the biopics and the documentary stuff. John Wayne Gacy, like the real life horror movie serial killer stuff. I love learning about that real life stuff. Just the Freddy Kruegers, Michael Myers of the world, but like the real life horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, preach to the choir, Will. Come on.
That's one of I love that shit. Like the Ghost Hunter stuff. Like what's Dildo Baggins' name? Zachary Baggins.
Stop it.
Like,
Baggins. God damn it.
It's that guy. His co-host. His wife just tried to kill his co-host. Like she hired a hitman shit. Like it's real life drama in this, and they're fucking like, hey, let's go yell at ghosts. I'm like, that's cool. Like I don't know why, but I love trashy television. I like Ghost. Fuck it, let's rage.
Since I do not like Zach Baggins, but Katie, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I didn't call him dildo like Will.
I know,
and he kind of is a dildo,
and that's okay. But we love him anyways.
So, did you recently see that the guy that was carting the Annabelle doll around died?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, and he was a younger dude, like younger meaning like between me and you, Matt, like mid to late 30s. Like he wasn't an old dude. He was in good physical shape, and he just killed over with like cardiac arrest or some shit. And I'm like, you can't tell me some shenanigans weren't involved with that.
Allison, through our group chat on TikTok, Yumi and her, has been keeping me apprised of all of the possible Annabelle incidences as she moved around the country and everything that was going on. So I figured you had seen that.
Did you hear about when she appeared in Gettysburg that everything in PA 911 was out?
That's freaky. I kind of love that though.
I don't remember when it was, but I remember getting a notification on my phone. 911 services are currently like unavailable, and then later in the day I found out that Annabelle's in fucking Gettysburg. I was like, this bitch.
And there was fires. There was all sorts of shit.
Yeah, she burned half of
Louisiana that day. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Very much so. I very much believe in the paranormal, ghosts, that kind of stuff. So the idea of them tempting fate with something like Annabelle is crazy to me.
Like Lorraine said, don't move. And what do they keep doing? Moving her. They don't listen. It's terrible.
And I think the fact that there's that one lady who came out and said she knew Ed and Lorraine personally, and that they embellished the stories on some of that stuff to sell books and movies and TV rights and shit. But they always stood hard on everything with Annabelle was 100% real. They were just like, don't fuck with that doll. So I think the fact that they came out and said some of our shit, yeah, we may have embellished a little bit, but the doll's fucking real, guys. Like,
now, there is multiple demons in there.
Like, yeah, I think that says more than it needs to be said about that doll.
I am willing to take one for the team. Break into where Annabelle's being stored.
No.
Take it and ship it to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
No.
Yes.
No, because you coming into contact with her is going to be bad news bears for you.
Take one for the team, Katie.
Do not go near her. She's dangerous.
We've seen her scope. You don't even have to send it there. You just have to take it into the proximity.
Oh, no, because the person who receives the package is dumb enough to open it, and then all the things happen.
True.
Right there. In an office that is oval. All right, well, so we talked about your love of trash TV. What do you love most about horror movies? What's your favorite thing about watching horror movies?
The same thing that I love the most about professional wrestling is the suspension of disbelief. Because I think that at the end of the day, do I think that there's a half dead, undead man, running around with a machete and a hockey mask? No. But if you tell your story right and you make it seem real, I will be convinced that Kane Hodder is going to murder me.
Hell
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, is Robert England like that? Yes, sir. It's your show, man. You don't have to raise your hand.
Yeah, but Kane Hodder's gonna what you?
Murder me.
Okay. It sounded like you said mutter.
Murder. R is the most menacing letter in the alphabet. That's why it's murder and not muck duck.
Especially in Tennessee.
A little bit of that draw came out. I'm working on it to make sure it doesn't happen. But I feel like it's the suspension of disbelief, because there's a lot of things that happen, especially when you start getting into the sci-fi world and your aliens and your predators and that level of not necessarily horror, but like adjacent to it and everything. Like the suspension of disbelief of what could be out there or what could be reality. Because I talked about, I love the Jeffrey Dahmers and the Charles Mansons and the Ed Geins of the world, but also make me like wonder what could be real. Candyman, Lawnmower Man, like all kinds of weird like techie shit that just freaks you out. Like what could be, like yeah. Just don't make me ask why.
He doesn't want to know why. Don't make him ask.
Yeah. Tell me why it's happening. That's all I ask, but I'll watch it. It's just as long as it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me the suspension of disbelief. Make me feel like what I'm watching is real and it matters, and make me feel like the characters are important.
I feel like that's not asking for a lot.
No, it's basic storytelling. Like shit, you learn that in like year one of college as a writer, like a creative writer, is like basic storytelling. Like here's where you start, here's the apex of the story and the decline to the finish. Like it's pretty straightforward, and that's all I ask for. Like there's no need to muddle it up too much,
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Been there. I get you. All right, well, you've been on Inside the Mind of. This is a spin-off of one of those questions. If you could sit down, have dinner with any 3 horror movie characters, who is it and why?
Hannibal Lecter,
Okay.
because he's his mind and because he likes to cook.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty good, straightforward. I would probably say number 2, John from Saw.
Okay.
Another mind, and another guy like, after Kevin went through everything as he did, and he changed his name, and he went on to,
Need to know why.
I needed to know why, and then we got it in the prequel or whatever, Saw 1000. Like, but I think John from Saw would be number 2. Number 3, it wouldn't necessarily be a horror person, like it's not going to be, but it would be Lori from Halloween.
Okay.
Because I think she would be a cool conversation, because she's been through some shit. And like, plus with the other 2 setting there, like I think Laurie Strode and Hannibal Lecter, like Clarice Starling, like I think there would be a lot of the same like vibes between those 2.
Mhm.
And then rounding out the dinner with us all, Captain Spaulding. Bring Captain Spaulding into the mix, and it'll just be a lot of vulgarity. He and I will get along great because we both have really like obscene vocabularies, and then the rest of the
also
table
likes to cook.
Yeah, and we'll have a lot of really intelligent conversations with a clown.
There you go. Like, Will, you won't have to cook for this dinner at all.
No, the point is get a bunch of people in there that will cook, except for Hannibal Lecter, because I'm not going to have to ask what. Don't make me ask what either. Apparently, what is this mean? I don't need to ask that question.
He can't ask
what or why?
He doesn't want to know. Can't ask why. Can't ask what.
Yeah, don't make me ask what meat is this.
Are you inviting all of these people who can cook because you're not really a chef, Will?
Jesus Christ.
That's hearsay, actually. And you
Calm
can look
down.
at my obviously you can go look at my Instagram, Mateo, in 2025. It's on the internet, so it's got to be real. See what I did there? I didn't necessarily say yes or no.
No, yeah, no, I
They
caught
kept
The
you.
it kept it
suspension
vague.
alive. Keep it vague, gray, if you will.
Ha, 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 ha.
I've never known a man who could cook that can run as fast as Will Gray. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, never trust a skinny chef, right?
Yep.
Write that down. Write that down. Never trust a skinny chef. So you briefly mentioned earlier, quote, 28 inches later, that being 28 years later. But is there any other recent horror movie that you watched that you actually enjoyed?
Sinners was amazing. Like deep down, I think like Michael B. Jordan in his own right kind of came into age with the Creed movies, and he kind of like stretched it out. The Black Panther, like all of those great roles, but I think Sinners was that point. And being from the American South, you know what I mean? The whole idea of like it's vampires and the idea of selling like your soul to the devil and everything, the deep South and blues music, and I was like, fuck yeah, Sinners was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably say Sinners was a good one. Again, Terrifier 3, I saw that within the last year. I thought it was great, and the seeing it in theaters on the big screen, gore fest, but again, not a bad movie. So those are the three most recent ones I've seen.
Okay. I
Yeah.
fucking love Sinners.
28 years later, specifically though, I'm most hyped because Danny Boyle has confirmed that the rest of the trilogy is coming out. So this was essentially what he was going to do after the first one. The first one happened 28 years later. We get his next trilogy. So I'm kind of excited for that because it's like, okay, we're going to get 2 more Danny Boyle zombie movies at minimum.
Well, yeah, the next one comes out
28 weeks exactly from the last one. So it's like January 26th of next year. So
which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have we've talked found footage movies. We have talked vampire movies. We have talked slasher movies. We have talked all of these things. What is your favorite horror subgenre?
Taking zombies out of the picture, because I'd probably say that's my favorite subgenre of horror. I would probably say next would be found footage, Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, specifically those two. The original Blair Witch Project because of what it did, and learning later after the fact, because you got to think about when that first movie came out. I was in like the 8th grade, 9th grade. So I was young. I watched it, scared the shit out of me, loved it. Going forward as an adult who's dabbled in a little bit of like filmmaking, I've done the film festival and everything, like, and we've worked on a couple other skits, and we've got another short film project we're about to do. Like, learning about what the producers and directors did going into that movie, with the fact that all the actors had different like keynotes of what they were supposed to do over that 72-hour period, and nobody had the same notes. So at one point one guy is doing something and nobody else realizes that it's happened. Like, one of the actors wanders off into the woods and nobody realizes he's supposed to be doing that, so they all think, like, the psychological terror they did to film that movie makes me love it even more now than how much I liked it then. And Paranormal Activity, another one, because I was talking about it earlier. I 100,000% believe in paranormal ghosts and shit. So Paranormal Activity is one of those movies, the first one specifically, where it's like it's a little ball in a sense that, okay, it's dark outside, scary shit's gonna happen, but like you get past the cheeseball nature of like funny shit during the day, scary stuff at night, like. everything else about that movie is brilliant, to the point, like, I think with Brian, isn't that his name in the first one, where he like gets drugged down the hallway or whatever, like all of the show. Yeah, Mika, there you go. But yeah,
I like Brian better. Let's go with Brian.
But like, I think that that's what I liked about it, is the idea that they made it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. To this day, watching the first one still creeps me out. Well, heebie-jeebies.
There's a one scene in one of the later ones that scared the shit out of me too. It's the one with the witches, where the kid takes the camera and he sleds it down in the air vent, and he starts filming like the seance, like through the air vent below him in the apartment and everything. And then all of a sudden,
the
like,
marked ones.
I was gonna say that's the marked ones.
And the lady's face just shows up in front of the camera, and he's like, "Oh fuck," like that was another piece that just like good jump scare, absolutely scared the shit out of me.
I have a bonus question for you, Will. It's not one of our selected questions, but it just came to me, and I think we're going to do this. So we talked about Paranormal Activity. The main characters in Paranormal Activity are Mika and Katie. Please pick a wrestling couple that you would replace Mika and Katie with in Paranormal Activity.
Damn.
Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. Because I think them in that movie, in that situation, both of them interacting with the paranormal, Bianca versus a ghost would be like that scene in a Scary Movie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, they've actually done that with her and Liv, or her and
it was her and Alexa.
Her and Alexa, yeah, where they like recreated that spot out of the movie. Like, that would be what that movie would be like in real life. Like, that's what would happen. So I'd say Bianca and Montez. An honorable mention, Miz and Maurice.
That would be so fucking funny.
Yeah. Mike the Miz interacting with ghosts. Like, do you know who I am? I'm the 2-time Grand Slam like cutting promos on the ghosts. I think that would be great. Great TV.
I actually love both those answers. My thought, just because I've been arguing with Philip or Vince about it all day, and because you said Brian, I have a coworker named Phil. It's anyway.
So much out.
Anyway, was Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. That's
a good one. That's definitely a good one.
Much like The Miz, I could see Daniel Bryan just being like, none of this is real. Ghosts aren't real, and continues to like mock the ghosts because he doesn't believe that they're a real thing. And make
but the whole
worse.
time it's happening in real time, like around him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone you put in that situation, it's going to be funny. Because they don't interact with ghosts.
It wouldn't be a couple, but put the New Day in there. All three of them. Big E, Kofi Kingston.
Big E's the ghost.
Yeah, they move into an apartment, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are there, and Big E is the ghost that's haunting them.
Well, Xavier Woods is definitely the guy behind the camera.
Stop.
Hi-oh. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
It's not what I heard.
That was my favorite meme of the Coldplay video, was the three of them.
So I know this is not horror movie related, and I apologize for anyone who's here for horror movies and hears us talking about wrestling, but I had this idea. I thought about tweeting it out. I didn't. Maybe I should have. Xavier and Kofi are heels, right?
Yeah.
You know what would really, really, really put Xavier over as a heel? You know how John Cena has his cameraman?
Stu.
I need Xavier to have his own cameraman named Brad.
No.
That's genius.
And then at some point during his entrance, he takes the camera from Brad and films it himself. Or he comes out filming it himself and then hands the camera to Brad to finish filming his entrance.
Yeah. And he has to say, "Here you go, Brad." Like just a little bit in passing, not mic'd up, just so you can hear it. But yeah. Oh yeah. I support that. Paige will never come back.
No, she definitely would not. Jesus Christ. Okay. Of course, this is one of the other questions left. So you talked about how you have done some short films, you've done writing, all of that kind of stuff. So if you could star or direct a film in any horror franchise, what would it be?
Okay, this is going to sound crazy. Follow me here. Sweeney Todd. I would direct Sweeney Todd, but instead of it being a demon barber of Fleet Street, he's a chef and he does a food truck and he goes from music festival to music festival.
So the Demon Butcher of Fleet Street?
Exactly. And just for the record, before anybody gets cute, I've already got that like in the works. So if you steal my idea, I'll sue you. But yeah, no, that is something that I am actually like working on a short film script for, is to do like a Sweeney Todd spinoff of a chef in a food truck burnt out. So he's using that as like his cover. Yeah.
It wouldn't be featuring a former Chicagoan turned Tennessee resident that was once my best friend that you stole from me, would it?
I haven't exactly to the point of casting yet, but I can't imagine that our best friend John wouldn't be involved in the project.
Our best friend John. Everyone on the screen's best friend John.
I love you. Did he tell you what we do every time we hang out?
Oh my god.
I know you guys take a picture together every time you hang out.
Every single time we send it.
I know.
Me or John one will take a picture of us together and send it to Matt.
He didn't need to tell me that because I get the fucking picture. Oh, well, you were asking if I had told her?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking me if John had told me. No.
No. I know because the other day he did it before I could. He was like, "Hey, come here," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
And
I die a little bit inside every time.
Every time. I sent him a picture of Caroline and Allison, and he was like, "I like that better. It doesn't hurt as much, and it's better to look at."
Touche.
That's what me and John said in real time. Was like, fair. We get it.
Makes sense.
So, what about you, Will? Is there anything that's been itching your brain horror-wise that you've wanted to ask me or Katie in the journey that we have taken together on Getting Offed, or just in general? Both of us, either of us, anything we mentioned today that you didn't hear when Katie and I did our interview together that you might have questions about?
First question. Ooh, go ahead.
Do you want to ask Katie how she got into podcasting?
Stop. No. Go listen to any of the 400 fucking episodes I did in the beginning of Inside the Mind of. Anyways.
A question for both of you. If you could go back and rewatch, you get the Men in Black memory flashy device, and it erases your memory for one horror series. But it's the entirety of the horror series from beginning to end. You've never seen it. It's erased, gone forever. What series would you pick so you could experience it for the first time again? I've got my answer. What is your answer?
I have mine.
Okay, well you can say your answer.
Okay, well, what can you say again? So when you asked that, my first thought was Halloween, but I don't know that 38-year-old Matt Ritter, having not grown up with the Halloween franchise the way that I did, would appreciate it the way that I do now. But one franchise that I would, because I could say that for a lot of stuff. Like, I think the reason I didn't connect with the earlier Evil Deads the way a lot of people did is because I watched it later in life. It wasn't something that I watched growing up. I feel like there's a certain time frame where you watch Evil Deads that it connects with you as a person, and I feel like I missed that part of my life, and I was a little too old and a little more jaded to enjoy the campiness of it. So for me, it would be Saw, just because, in my opinion, the first 7 Saw movies are a perfect story told from 1 through 7. It gets a little wonky after that, but if I could watch the original 7 and binge that and experience that for the first time, plot twists and everything, how big of a deal all of that was, and seeing everything just kind of come together, I would enjoy that. So my answer is Saw.
For sure. I think it would be cool to be able to watch it and binge it and see. I think it's 2 and 3 that happen at the same time, but you don't realize it because they came up. You know what I mean? Like to be able to binge it in 3 and 4,
Yeah.
to be able to see that in real time, I think would give you a very different perspective on the movie series. Because we watched 3 and then waited, and then 4 came out, and you realize they're happening at the same time. But to get that instant gratification of finishing 3 and immediately going into 4, I think would be cool. Katie, what about you? What's your answer?
I think realistically the answer is Scream, because a lot of these franchises I have watched all the way through in the past few years. So like I am in my late 20s, so like I didn't necessarily grow up with all of them, but they have impacted this adult. I'm barely an adult. Like this version of me, but seeing the Scream franchise as a whole now would be crazy. Like I got to see Scream on the big screen when they had the 25th anniversary, and that felt like a fever dream. Like that was one of the coolest things I've got to experience, because I was born the year Scream came out.
Ouch.
Surprise. But being able to see all of them, like specifically like the original and like Scream 4 would be so fun, and like the newer ones too. I think that could be a very fun franchise to start all over with no memory.
Great. For me, it's Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I do love the nostalgia of being able to go back and rewatch Scream again though, because again for the same reason, the whole Sidney Prescott story and everything, being a young, early teen and rewatching that would be a super cool experience. But for me, is kind of Halloween being or no, what I no,
Friday
I
the
said
13th.
Friday the 13th. Sorry, for it being Friday the 13th, it's kind of the same reason Matt was talking about, but for the opposite reason, is because having watched them sporadically throughout my life and knowing that at the end of the day, a lot of people put Jason Voorhees as usually that 1 or 1A slasher. To me, I feel really disconnected to the series, and I think it's because I've never been super invested in it. So I think if I took away the fact that I've seen them so spaced out without feeling invested in the series, if I had a chance to go back and rewatch it in order from beginning to end and binge it, I think, almost 40-year-old Will would appreciate the series more than I did watching it throughout my teens and 20s and 30s, like spaced out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
I just want to let you know I added that question to our list. I'm stealing that question going forward. So now we have 12 questions.
I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to take the really good questions, add them to our list, and grow the show. So
Okay.
My second question would be if you could replace a character in a horror movie, good or bad. Okay, you don't necessarily have to take their fate, but you would be put in their situation. So if you're then like you're going to be in Sydney's situation throughout the series. You know what I mean? But you don't have to follow her track exactly. So if you're Stu, you don't necessarily have to be like, I'm going to pick Stu, but I'm dead after the first movie or whatever, right? So who would you replace? Well, no spoilers, right? Spoiler free is the way to beat people. Who would you replace?
I think I'd want to be Lori.
Strode?
Yeah. I feel like that's. I mean, she goes toe to toe with Michael a few times. She lives to tell the tale in the longer timeline, not the one where she dies and whatever. In this timeline, she survives. So that's obviously the one I would go for. And it'd just be, I mean, yeah, living with that trauma and all of that, but like, hey, don't we all got a little bit of trauma? Like, it's fun. Adds character.
For lots of character in that case.
Lori goes through some shit.
Like I said, like it's why I had her at my dinner table, is because she's seen some shit. She would be a good conversation.
I want the I want like the house like decked out and like hiding places and guns everywhere, just in case.
Just in case. Mateo.
See, I tried to Google what horror movie character has a lot of sex, and it didn't give me an answer. So, terrible. I know. Realistically, though, Ash from The Evil Dead.
This is my boomstick.
Like I said, while I didn't connect with the original trilogy the way a lot of people did, and I still have a love for the universe in which it exists, and I would like to be in that universe with the Necronomicon. I think that I would enjoy being an idiot savant, just kind of stumbling my way to victory over and over again. I love Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show, so much, because I feel like it took all of the good from the original Evil Dead trilogy and all of the good from Evil Dead 2013 and kind of combined them together perfectly. So, yeah, if I were to be in someone's situation, I feel like I'd want to be the Hefe.
That makes sense. My pick is also along those same lines. I had to look up his name on IMDb. I would be Hadley in Cabin in the Woods, the command guy inside the command center who's like running the show and calling shots behind everything, and then like running the betting pool on like what's going to happen when and where. Like, that's who I would want to replace.
Not gonna lie to you, Will. When you said Cabin in the Woods, that was not the person I thought you were picking.
You thought I was going to pick the dude with the bong, right?
Marty, yeah, I thought you were going to be Marty.
No, I immediately was like, what is the dude's name? I couldn't remember his name, so I looked it up. But yeah, the dude running the command center. Like, I think that would be a hell of a day's work, to say the least.
He's the one that got eaten by the merman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have to pick that way specifically to go.
Well, so, all right, since you asked that question, based on the betting pool, and if you want, I can pull up the betting pool, but what would you have bet on, or what would you have liked to see that we didn't get to see come out of the basement?
Oh, shit. Putting me on the spot makes me think about it.
So we have werewolf, alien beast, mutants, wraiths, zombies, which is different than Redneck Zombie Family, which is what we got. Reptilius, clowns, witches, sexy witches, demons,
witches.
Hell Lord, angry molesting tree, Katie's favorite, giant snake, deadites, Kevin, mummy, the bride, Kevin. Scarecrow folk, snowman, dragon bat, vampires, dismemberment goblins, sugar plum fairy, merman, the reanimated, unicorn, Huron, Wendigo, Yeti, Sasquatch, dolls, the doctor, jack-o'-lantern, giant, twins.
And twins.
I lived in the Appalachia. Give me a Wendigo.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would love to find out if like the fucking changelings and shit like that, because in East Tennessee there were some old heads out there that still live by the idea that if you're in the woods at night and you hear it, no, you didn't. You know, like I have a friend whose grandmother still puts a bowl of rice out every night on her front porch. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who still live that life in the East Tennessee mountains. So give me a Wendigo. Give me one of the urban myths.
I want a unicorn.
That would be a great pick as well. I think I could manhandle a unicorn.
Just grab by the horn and just throw it around.
Jump on that shit and ride it like a fucking cowboy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the horn. Like,
have you guys seen Death Unicorn yet?
No,
I watched it. It was
I
entertaining,
heard it was
but
bad.
it wasn't what. Yes, but only because how do you make a Paul Rudd movie where Paul Rudd is mostly unlikable for most of the movie? Like, it's fucking Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's what they try and do.
That's not what they try to do. They succeed at making him very unlikable for the majority of the movie.
Damn, that sucks.
That's
then I don't want to
tough.
watch it. I love
Yeah.
Paul.
Big Paul Rudd fan.
Big Paul Rudd fan.
All right. Any other questions?
He's like, no.
Not for me.
Nothing from Will. Katie, are you fully satiated with this session at the Gory Hole?
Sure.
Well, tell everyone where they can find you and what you do.
Did you say Will or Well?
No, Will.
Will, okay. First and foremost, as always, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. It's always an interesting experience when you're going to get interviewed, especially even if you know some of the questions ahead of time. It's always like, what do you do? If you're interested in my shenanigans, as always, check my link tree and all of my bios anywhere you do anything on the internet at the Will Gray. You'll find everything I do for Botchbots and Chair Shots and Rivet City Radio when I get the channel back. You can check us out on YouTube and Twitch. There you'll also find all of my writing profiles for Last Word on Sports, Pro Wrestling Stories, and The Sportster.
All right. And, okay, we don't need to plug our shit. If they're watching this show, then they're definitely know where to find us.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the Will Gray, Ms. Katie Kinsey Bebe, I am the patron saint of podcasting, Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your visit to the Gory Hole.